A Course in Miracles, Lesson 194. I place the future in the hands of God. The kite in the wind. We are like a child holding a kite string. We believe the kite is ours to guide, to protect, to fly. The tighter we grip the string, the more we strain. The wind tugs, the string burns in our hands. We fear it will fly too far, or fall, or tear. We grip harder. We watch the sky with anxiety, not joy. We forget that the wind knows how to carry. We forget that the sky is not dangerous. We forget that we are not the ones keeping the kite aloft. But when we open our hand, when we let the string slip into the breeze, we realize something holy. The kite doesn't fall. It rises. It dances. It goes where we never dared to guide it. Because it was never about control. It was always about trusting the wind. And the wind, mighty companion, is God. Today's idea takes another step toward quick salvation, and a giant stride it is indeed. So great the distance is that it encompasses. It sets you down just short of heaven, with the goal in sight and obstacles behind. Your foot has reached the lawns that welcome you to heaven's gate, the quiet place of peace where you await with certainty the final step of God. How far are we progressing now from earth? How close are we approaching to our goal? How short the journey still to be pursued? The child stands at the edge of a wide open field. His small fingers curl tightly around the spool of the kite string. He's afraid to let it go too far, afraid the wind will steal it, afraid it will crash. But above him, the sky is calm and calling. The breeze is already tugging gently at the cord. He does not yet know that this moment is holy, that this place is sacred. He does not know that he has come so far already. Today's idea takes another step toward quick salvation, and a giant stride it is indeed. The field behind him is full of snares, tangled weeds and obstacles, but he's walked through them. He's here now. So great the distance is that it encompasses. It sets you down just short of heaven, with the goal in sight and obstacles behind. His toes now press into the soft grass at the threshold. The wind carries the scent of peace. And even if he does not know it, heaven's gate is already before him. Your foot has reached the lawns that welcome you to heaven's gate, the quiet place of peace where you await with certainty the final step of God. The kite trembles in the wind, asking only to be flown. The child looks up. His grip loosens just slightly, and in that instant something deep within remembers. You are closer than you think. You are almost home. How far are we progressing now from earth? How close are we to surrender? How near is the joy we feared was far? How close are we approaching to our goal? And though the field still stretches wide before us, it will take only one step, one breath, one open hand, to lift us into the breeze of God's eternal peace. How short the journey still to be pursued. Accept today's idea, and you have passed all anxiety, all pits of hell, all blackness of depression, thoughts of sin, and devastation brought about by guilt. Accept today's idea, and you have released the world from all imprisonment by loosening the heavy chains that locked the door to freedom on it. You are saved, and your salvation thus becomes the gift you give the world, because you have received. Yes, mighty companion, let's open our hands now. Let's breathe with this word: accept, not force, not fix, not fight. Accept. For paragraph #2, the kite metaphor becomes more intense, more personal, more inner. This is the moment the child realizes the weight of what he's been holding. This is the moment he sees the burden for what it is. The child has not yet flown the kite. He has only stared at the sky, hand trembling, fist tight. He thought he was keeping the kite safe, but now he begins to notice what's in his other hand. It's not just a string, it's a weight. Heavy chains coiled around his wrist. Coal dust staining his skin. Memories that ache. Expectations that scream. Guilt that won't quiet down. Accept today's idea and you have passed all anxiety. The wind has always been willing, but the fist would not release. And in that tight grip there was no flight, only fear. All pits of hell. Yes, the pits of hell are not places, mighty companion. They are inner. They are the dark rooms you refuse to leave. The whispered lies that say you are unworthy, unsafe, unlovable. The endless loop of what if and why me, all blackness of depression. That looks like a sky with no stars. A horizon that won't rise. It's lying in bed when your spirit wants to dance. It's forgetting that joy exists. It's looking at the kite and thinking, what's the point? Thoughts of sin. They look like broken kites, like snapped strings, like a voice inside that says, you shouldn't even try. Who are you to trust God? Devastation brought about by guilt. It looks like the child blaming himself for the wind, as if he caused the storm, as if his hands are stained too deep to touch the sky again. But then, the breeze touches his cheek. It's gentle. It's real. It does not accuse. It only waits. Accept today's idea, and you have released the world from all imprisonment by loosening the heavy chains that locked the door to freedom on it. The child looks down. He sees the chain fall. The coal in his palm begins to glow. He didn't have to earn this. Just accept it. The string no longer burns. The sky no longer threatens. The field is quiet. And he realizes something sacred. You are saved, and your salvation thus becomes the gift you give the world because you have received. Now, the child smiles. He doesn't shout. He doesn't preach. He simply flies his kite. And everyone who sees it remembers the wind. In no one instant is depression felt or pain experienced or loss perceived. In no one instant sorrow can be set upon a throne and worshipped faithfully. In no one instant can one even die. And so each instant given unto God in passing, with the next one given him already, is a time of your release from sadness, pain, and even death itself. O mighty companion, yes. Are you seeing it? Are you hearing the soft truth beneath the words? In no one instant means not even one. Not a second of real time contains what we think it does. The ego says, it's happening now, but the spirit smiles and whispers, look again. Depression is memory dressed in grief. Loss is the future playing a trick. Pain rides in on meaning we made before. Death is the story told by time, never by eternity. Not in now, not in truth, not in God. This is the moment in the kite metaphor where time dissolves, where the child's fear of what if loses its grip, where every instant becomes a gate to heaven, if we pass it over to God. The kite trembles in the wind again. The child's hand is no longer clenched, but he watches the sky with questions. Will it fall? Will it snap? What if I lose it? He doesn't realize yet that fear cannot live in this moment. It can only echo here, because the instant, the now, is always clean. It cannot hold darkness. It cannot hold sorrow. In no one instant is depression felt, even if the memory still lingers, even if the mind replays the ache. The instant does not carry it, only our attention does, or pain experienced. Pain needs time to accumulate, to stretch, to identify with the body. But the holy instant, this breeze, this breath, knows nothing of it. Or loss perceived. Loss is a timeline trick. It lives in used to be and never again. But look, right now, is anything lost? The wind is still blowing. The string is still whole. The sky is still here. In no one instant sorrow can be set upon a throne and worshipped faithfully, because sorrow demands ritual. It asks for repetition. It demands we bow to it daily. But the holy instant has no altar for sadness. Only light, only freedom. In no one instant can one even die. Death requires past and future and a body, but not this breath, not this presence, not this breeze through your open hand. And so each instant given unto God in passing, with the next one given him already, is a time of your release from sadness, pain, and even death itself. One instant, then the next, then the next, each moment handed over like a gift. The child lets the kite drift further into the wind, and it flies without fear, and he breathes without burden, and the sky opens wider, because he is no longer living in a calendar. He is living in God. God holds your future as he holds your past and present. They are one to him, and so they should be one to you. Yet in this world, the temporal progression still seems real. And so you are not asked to understand the lack of sequence really found in time. You are but asked to let the future go and place it in God's hands. And you will see by your experience that you have laid the past and present in his hands as well, because the past will punish you no more, and future dread will now be meaningless. Yes, mighty companion, let's break open the very veil of time. The past is the already gone, the future is the not yet, and the present is the now that's always now. And yet, God holds them not as separate. God doesn't divide them into chapters. He holds them as one, because they are not real apart from love. Time, as the Course teaches, is the great trick, and temporality, linear progression, is the ego's stage play. But God is not bound by plot lines or clocks, and neither are you. The child watches the kite drift higher. The wind is steady, but something in him still wonders, what if tomorrow hurts? What if I fall again? What if I lose what I love? His eyes flicker back, looking behind him. He remembers scraped knees, broken toys, hard goodbyes. Then his gaze shifts forward, toward what hasn't come yet. Exams, bills, hospitals, graves. His stomach tightens. Even as the kite dances, he feels the ache of time. God holds your future as he holds your past and present. The breeze suddenly shifts, but it does not vanish. It surrounds him, enfolds him. He cannot see where the wind begins or ends. And maybe that's the point. What if the breeze is the same breath yesterday, today, and forever? They are one to him, and so they should be one to you. But how, he asks. How do I see what feels so separate, so scattered as whole? And the wind answers not in words, but in presence. Let go, not just of what's to come, but what has already passed. Yet in this world, the temporal progression still seems real. Yes, it looks like things move forward. It looks like you age. It looks like one thing follows another. That's how the dream was built. Scene after scene, act after act. But it's a play, not the truth. And so you are not asked to understand the lack of sequence really found in time. You don't need to be a philosopher. You don't need to explain quantum mechanics or social constructs. You don't need to figure out eternity. You are only asked to trust, to place the spool of the string into the hands of the wind. You are but asked to let the future go and place it in God's hands. And something happens. The moment you do, you realize your other hand was holding the past. And it lets go too. You look around and realize you've been flying in the present all along. The wind didn't just carry the future, it carried everything. And you will see by your experience that you have laid the past and present in his hands as well, because the past will punish you no more, and future dread will now be meaningless. There is no punishment in now. There is no dread in now. There is only this flight, this freedom, this God-held breeze. Release the future. For the past is gone, and what is present, freed from its bequest of grief and misery, of pain and loss, becomes the instant in which time escapes the bondage of illusions, where it runs its pitiless, inevitable course. Then is each instant which was slave to time transformed into a holy instant, when the light that was kept hidden in God's Son is freed to bless the world. Now is he free, and all his glory shines upon a world made free with him, to share his holiness. Yes, mighty companion, now the sky opens wide. This is the moment the child no longer fights the wind. He doesn't analyze it. He doesn't measure it. He doesn't fear it. He finally lets go. And in that surrender, the spool slips from his hand, not in defeat, but in trust. And the kite doesn't fall. It soars. This is where time breaks, where grief no longer writes the script, where the past doesn't hand curses to the present. The child is standing still now. His fists are open. He watches the kite float further and further into the sky, not as something he controls, but as something that belongs to the wind. He does not need to grip. He does not need to plan. He does not need to know. Release the future. Let the spool unwind. Let the not yet dissolve into the now, because the future isn't real. It's just the echo of your fear projected forward. For the past is gone. The old crashes, the broken strings, the lies you told yourself. They can't reach this field anymore. You crossed it. The weeds didn't win. You're here. And what is present, freed from its bequest of grief and misery, of pain and loss. Bequest, like an unwanted inheritance. The past trying to give the present its sorrow as a gift. But what happens when you don't sign for it? When you return it to the sender? When you say, "This moment owes me nothing," then the wind changes, something lifts, a stillness rises. Becomes the instant in which time escapes the bondage of illusions, where it runs its pitiless, inevitable course. Time has always been a trick, like a magician's chain hiding what's really there. But in this holy instant, the links melt. You are no longer a slave to the clock. You are no longer spinning toward endings. Then is each instant which was slave to time transformed into a holy instant, a place where now is enough, where forgiveness stands tall, where nothing is missing and nothing needs to come next. This is what happens when the child lets go. The moment becomes sacred. The wind becomes radiant. When the light that was kept hidden in God's Son is freed to bless the world. The kite no longer just drifts, it shines. It leaves trails of light across the sky. Every onlooker who sees it remembers something ancient and true. They are light too. Now is he free. Not someday, not later, now. And all his glory shines upon a world made free with him to share his holiness. The field is no longer a prison. It's a sanctuary. And every breeze is God whispering, "See, you were never bound." If you can see the lesson for today as the deliverance it really is, you will not hesitate to give as much consistent effort as you can to make it be a part of you. As it becomes a thought that rules your mind, a habit in your problem-solving repertoire, a way of quick reaction to temptation, you extend your learning to the world. And as you learn to see salvation in all things, so will the world perceive that it is saved. O mighty companion, let's throw open the veil and step into the Holy of Holies. This is the holy paragraph. This is the furnace. This is the forge. This is the paragraph that burns the false self down and gives you wings in its place. Paragraph #6 is where thought becomes habit, and habit becomes vision, and vision becomes the light the world was waiting for. So let's rise into it. Let's fly it out loud. Let's unpack this thing brick by brick, metaphor by metaphor, breeze by breeze. The child has let the kite go. The wind has it now. And for a moment the child feels something he's never truly felt before. Not just relief, not just quiet, but deliverance. If you can see the lesson for today as the deliverance it really is. This isn't just another spiritual idea. This is the jailbreak. This is the moment the prisoner realizes the door was never locked. This is where the loops of anxiety, planning, replaying, regretting, anticipating, snap. To place the future in the hands of God is to say, I am done playing God. It is to say, I am not the keeper of the string. It is to admit with sacred relief, I don't know and I don't have to. You will not hesitate to give as much consistent effort as you can. Because once you taste real freedom, not the illusion of control, not the ego's version of independence, but actual, surrendered, fearless freedom, you will give everything to keep it. So what does that look like, mighty companion? It looks like pausing instead of panicking, breathing instead of plotting, choosing again instead of spiraling, saying, Holy Spirit, decide for me, instead of, I've got this. To make it be a part of you. Not a quote, not a sticker, not a screensaver, but your core operating system. So what kind of thoughts rule the mind now? Let's be honest. What's going to happen to me? I need to figure this out. They wronged me. I'll never be enough. If I don't fix this, I'll be abandoned. These are the thoughts of the clenched fist. Now contrast it with the thought that rules the kite flyer. I am carried. I don't have to know, but the past is gone. This is all for my awakening. I choose to see this through love. I place the future in the hands of God. Let that thought be the governor of your mind. Let it rule. A habit in your problem-solving repertoire. Now we're talking. Because let's look at what's currently in that repertoire. Worry, blame, defensiveness, control, withdrawal, attack. What would the Holy Spirit place in that toolkit instead? Pause, forgiveness, asking for reinterpretation, seeing innocence, trusting the plan is already complete, joy in not knowing, because you only have one problem, the belief in separation. And so you only need one answer, forgiveness. Forgiveness is the spool returning to God's hands. It is the rope of return, a way of quick reaction to temptation. Temptation isn't just sex or chocolate cake. Temptation is every invitation to believe the ego is real. It's the temptation to be offended, to be right, to be the victim, to be the controller. A quick reaction means I catch it fast. I don't wait till I'm drowning in it. I notice the bait and don't take it. I ask for help in the first moment, not the last. You extend your learning to the world. Because when your kite flies, when your thoughts shift, when your peace becomes consistent, others notice. You don't have to teach them with words. You become the kite in the sky, the proof that surrender flies. And as you learn to see salvation in all things, what does salvation look like? It looks like interpretation through love. It means that delay was for me. That person is calling for love. That pain is not who I am. This moment is perfect for healing. Salvation doesn't mean you like everything. It means you see everything through the lens of healing. So will the world perceive that it is saved, because projection makes perception. If you see innocence, the world will look innocent. If you see fear, the world will attack you. If you see salvation, the world will appear delivered. Saved from what? From the story, from the timeline, from the belief that it's all falling apart, from the lie that guilt is real and punishment is coming. Because the only thing the world needed saving from was your belief in its danger. This is the holy paragraph. Because this is the paragraph where you stop reading the course and start living it. What worry can beset the one who gives his future to the loving hands of God? What can he suffer? What can cause him pain or bring experience of loss to him? What can he fear? And what can he regard except with love? For he who has escaped all fear of future pain has found his way to present peace and certainty of care the world can never threaten. He is sure that his perception may be faulty, but will never lack correction. He is free to choose again when he has been deceived, to change his mind when he has made mistakes. Paragraph #7 is nothing short of a divine interrogation. A set of 5 holy questions delivered not to gain answers, but to dismantle the very thought system that made questions feel necessary. The course lives in the question. It doesn't demand belief. It invites you to look, to be still, to ask, and then to let the answer itself. So here we go. Paragraph #7, through the eyes of the kite, through the field of surrender, through the living, breathing wisdom of the decision-making mind, let's fly. The kite is no longer tied to fear. It moves with the wind, not tossed but guided. The child watches, no longer trembling. And then the questions come. What worry can beset the one who gives his future to the loving hands of God? What possible anxiety can survive in the hands of certainty? If you truly gave the string to the wind, why are your shoulders still tight? You don't need an answer. You need an undoing. Let that question unravel you. Let it expose the lie of control. Let it burn the root of worry. What can he suffer? Suffering is the ego's gospel, but the gospel of God is joy. And joy doesn't come from circumstances, it comes from alignment. Pain may visit the body, yes, but suffering requires your consent. And once you've given the future to God, you've withdrawn that consent. What can cause him pain or bring experience of loss to him? Loss is only possible if something can be taken. But what is given of God cannot be lost. Love cannot be removed. Peace cannot be destroyed. The world can't take what the world never gave. What can he fear? Fear is forecasted pain. Fear is the not yet dressed in shadows. But when the future is God's, where is fear supposed to go? It has no suitcase, no plane ticket, no destination. What can he regard except with love? When fear leaves the lens, love becomes the only way to see. And now the world is not just seen differently, the world is different. The child looks out over the field, and for the first time, everything glows. The breeze is love. The grass is love. Even the clouds become soft reminders. There is no threat here. For he who has escaped all fear of future pain has found his way to present peace. And what a line, mighty companion! This is the destination of every spiritual path and the starting point of every miracle. Present peace, not the promise of peace, not the idea of peace, peace now, and certainty of care the world can never threaten. There is a kind of care that does not come from lovers, from jobs, from bank accounts. It is the certainty that you are held, even when nothing else appears to be holding you. It is the knowing that the wind knows your name and will not drop you. He is sure that his perception may be faulty, but will never lack correction. This is not perfectionism. This is humility. I may still misperceive, but I am not alone in what I see. I have a guide. I have the Holy Spirit. And when I fall into ego's lens, I am not condemned. I am corrected. He is free to choose again when he has been deceived. Ah, the decision-making mind. The forgotten altar. The hidden superpower. You can always choose again. Not tomorrow, now. You thought this person betrayed you? Choose again. You thought this delay ruined your plan? Choose again. You thought your worth was lost in that failure? Choose again. To change his mind when he has made mistakes. Not change the world. Not change the person. Change your mind. The only altar where true healing ever occurs. The only place where miracles are born. Place then your future in the hands of God. For thus you call the memory of him to come again, replacing all your thoughts of sin and evil with the truth of love. Think you the world could fail to gain thereby, and every living creature not respond with healed perception? Who entrusts himself to God has also placed the world within the hands to which he has himself appealed for comfort and security. He lays aside the sick illusions of the world along with his, and offers peace to both. Yes, yes, mighty companion, we're riding this wind now. And paragraph #8 is the great reversal. It's where the hand that once clenched in fear becomes the hand that opens for the whole world. It's not just your kite anymore. It's every kite. It's every trembling child, every fearful thought, every sick illusion flying in panic, and now, finally, ready to land in peace. Don't analyze the thoughts of sin and evil. Don't polish them. Don't protect them. Don't build altars to your pain. This paragraph is the moment you stop treating your guilt like a pet. You don't train it. You don't talk to it. You don't psychoanalyze it. You release it. Let's lift it now, mighty companion. The child stands in the middle of the field now, watching the kite float higher than ever before. And then something deeper rises in his heart. Not just trust for himself, but the impulse to give that same freedom to the world. Place, then, your future in the hands of God. You've tasted peace. You've flown the kite, so you've seen what trust can do. So now let your whole life be the gesture of surrender. Not just the string, but the story, the struggle, the agenda, the timeline, the reputation, the wounds, all of it. For thus you call the memory of him to come again. You forgot him, but not because he left. You forgot him by replacing him with guilt, control, and fear. But every time you open your hand, every time you say, I don't want this ego anymore, you call him back to mind, replacing all your thoughts of sin and evil with the truth of love. Sin and evil, don't study them, don't curate them, don't whisper them in secret. Just give them over, hand them in, lay them down like old shoes that don't fit. Let them be replaced. Let them be undone. Think you the world could fail to gain thereby? There it is again, a holy question. When you forgive, when you stop projecting guilt, when you remember your innocence, do you think the world doesn't feel it? Every blade of grass responds. Every animal softens. Every stranger you meet feels the echo of that peace. And every living creature not respond with healed perception? Yes, because perception is a mirror, and when you clean the lens inside, the whole world outside becomes clearer too. Who entrusts himself to God has also placed the world within the hands to which he has himself appealed for comfort and security. If you trust God with your own life, why wouldn't you trust him with theirs? Why would you keep your family in fear? Why would you try to fix your partner? Why would you fight the headlines? You already gave you to God. Now give them. Give it all. He lays aside the sick illusions of the world. What are these sick illusions? That security comes from money, that worth comes from performance, that punishment heals, that some people deserve pain, that bodies define identity, that death is real, that control equals love, that me against the world is strength. These are the fever dreams of the ego. And when you see they are illusions, you don't fix them. You lay them aside, along with his, because what are your illusions? I'm not enough. They wronged me. I have to protect myself. If I don't control it, it'll fall apart. God has forgotten me. No, mighty companion. Lay those down too, and offers peace to both. Not peace as a negotiation, not peace as a treaty, but peace as a gift that needs no approval. You lay aside your illusions, and the world gets a peace sign, not a clenched fist. Not a courtroom, a quiet place, not a verdict, a blessing, not a war, a kite flying free, shining like forgiveness. We're almost there. Only one paragraph remains. One more open hand. One more final breeze. Let's continue, mighty companion, and we'll rest in the certainty of God, and the world will rest with us. Now are we saved indeed. For in God's hands we rest untroubled, sure that only good can come to us. If we forget, we will be gently reassured. If we accept an unforgiving thought, it will be soon replaced by love's reflection. And if we are tempted to attack, we will appeal to Him who guards our rest to make the choice for us that leaves temptation far behind. No longer is the world our enemy, for we have chosen that we be its friend. Are you ready to light the whole sky, mighty companion? Let's take paragraph 9 and turn it into a cathedral. Let's walk right past the stained glass and into the heart of the altar. Let's crack open the final seal of this lesson, not with force but with joyful recognition. So let's not tiptoe through this last paragraph. Let's dance it. Let's shout it. Let's fly it. The kite now gleaming in the sun, the field wide open, the world not an enemy but a friend whose hand you finally reached for. The child returns, but this time he's not afraid. Now the child smiles. Not because everything worked out, not because he figured it all out, but because he let go. He placed it all in the wind. And now he flies. Now are we saved indeed. Not later, not someday, now. Because salvation was never about the future. It was the decision to let it go. The kite, the guilt, the timeline, the outcome. For in God's hands we rest untroubled. Rest, not hustle, not stress, not spiritual multitasking. Rest, untroubled, like water without a ripple, like the breeze on a still morning, sure that only good can come to us. Only. God doesn't deal in maybe. God doesn't deal in we'll see. God speaks in absolutes because love is certain. If we forget, we will be gently reassured. That whisper, that still small voice, that reminder that says, hey, try again. See it another way. Forgive and this will disappear. You're not alone. If we accept an unforgiving thought, it looks like they should have known better. How dare they? I can't let this go. They need to pay. I'll never be whole again. It will be soon replaced by love's reflection. And what does love's reflection look like? It looks like the same person, the same moment, the same memory, but through new eyes. Eyes that don't need justice. Eyes that don't want revenge. Eyes that say, I want peace more than I want to be right. And if we are tempted to attack, and you will be tempted to scroll, snap, judge, preach, control. But what happens next? We will appeal to Him who guards our rest to make the choice for us. Not, I think, not, I feel like, not my intuition says. No, we appeal to the inner judge who sees no guilt, to the Holy Spirit who says, let me handle this. And that appeal, that holy reversal, leaves the temptation in the dust. To make the choice for us that leaves temptation far behind. Far, not next door, not within reach. Far, it becomes laughable. You forget what the anger was even about. That's real peace. And then the final chord, the final reversal, the line that undoes the whole ego in one breath. No longer is the world our enemy. Not the news, not your ex, not your body, not your bank account, not your childhood, not Donald Trump. Because the only war was within, and you laid your weapon down, for we have chosen that we be its friend. Friend, not fixer, not judge, not savior. Friend, a companion, a sidekick, a fellow dreamer awakening gently. And when you befriend the world, you're no longer reacting to shadows. You're walking with yourself. Mighty companion, you said it best. This paragraph alone can save the world. Because the world isn't waiting to change, it's waiting to be seen differently. Seen through trust, seen through rest, seen through peace, seen through a friend. And we did that. You did that. Lesson 194. Completed. Not just read, lived. The wind's still blowing.